I will say, as good as this movie is, there is one big missed opportunity this movie had. A song they could have played, maybe even in the end credits. I'll give you a hint. Steve Miller. Joker. So Joker is a standalone movie. It's not connected to the DC Extended Universe. It serves as a realistic origin story of one of the most popular comic book villains of all time, the Batman villain, the Joker. It takes place in the 80s. We have Joaquin Phoenix as a man named Arthur Fleck. His life sucks. He's at a dead-end job. He lives with his mother, who's played by Loretta from How I Met Your Mother. And through a series of events, you see this man who is an ordinary schlub essentially become that which you know as the character of the Joker. And now we have our movie, which... yeah. You've heard all the positive buzz this movie's been getting for like a month now, and I am here to validate it for you. There's a reason it got all that positive buzz, because this movie, oh my god, this movie is so fucking good. One of the biggest things you've heard about the movie is that Joaquin Phoenix is probably gonna get nominated for an Oscar, and yes, holy shit, Joaquin Phoenix is like masterclass in this movie. He is so good, and there are a couple reasons why. First off, his character he portrays, Arthur Fleck, he portrays him with a mental illness, which makes sense, right? If this movie's going for realism and trying to show us the audience what a character like the Joker would really be like in the real world, he would be mentally ill to some extent. He's not all there in the head, and the crazy things he does, he feels are justified, because that is how he sees the world. But it's not just the mental illness that makes Joaquin Phoenix's acting so good. It's the fact that, like the last movie I reviewed, which is Ad Astra, this main character carries the movie. There's not a scene in the movie he's not in. But unlike Ad Astra, the main character in this movie actually has some charisma. His performance is so engrossing, you can't take your eyes off of him. And it's because he's unpredictable. You don't know what he's gonna do next, because he's got a few loose wires up there. A few scenes in this movie where he's just relishing in his Joker-ness. He'll just be dancing around and you're just like, look at him go. I am pretty sure he is going to get nominated for the Oscar, and he might just take it. His first Oscar. It's probably gonna happen. Now, having said all that about Joaquin Phoenix, everyone else in the movie was great too. Robert De Niro plays this talk show host who Arthur Fleck kind of admires, and he was fantastic and charismatic as well. You have Zazie Beetz playing Sophie Dumond, a kind of love interest in the movie. And if there is one aspect of the film I would lift out of it, it would be that, but after thinking about it, I'm like, nah, leave it in. I think Arthur Fleck should experience some aspect of romance before he snaps. He needs to see how his Joker persona affects people on a grandiose scale and also on an intimate level. Both of those are important. Robert De Niro's character represents the grandiose scale, and Zazie Beetz' character represents the intimate level. I'm telling you, great filmmaking. Now, as much as I would like to say, oh, this is a movie about a comic book character, the Joker. He's been in comics for nearly 80 years. One of the best things about this movie is that it does not feel like a comic book movie. It's not a big budget action movie. It's not Avengers. No, this is a drama. A heavy, serious drama. Don't bring your kid to this. I mean, it's a rated R movie. That should give some indication. And I would say it's a slow burn, but it didn't feel like a slow burn to me. It didn't feel drawn out. It just wasn't exciting. It's not just action all the time. It's not an exciting movie, but it's not slow. It's a good, well-paced drama. And it's violent. Like, at a point when the first violent scene comes in, you're like, oh my god, that was so sudden. That's brutal. I mean, there was never a scene in this movie where I had to shield my eyes. None of the scenes got really gross, just really bloody. Lots of red in this movie. Like, when someone gets shot in the head, it's all... yeah. So again, don't take your kids. If there's one gripe I could have possibly thought of, is that maybe the circumstances for Arthur Fleck's situation, it lined up a little too nicely. It's like, oh, first this bad thing happens to him, then this bad thing, then it keeps adding up. And at a point I was like, oh, what a coincidence. All this stuff just happens to happen. Of course the Joker would come from this. But then I thought to myself, yeah, no shit. Again, this movie's going for realistic. The events that happen in this movie are what it would take to make the Joker. It wouldn't happen any other way. So that contradicts my gripe. It eliminates it. The circumstances are too convenient? No, they're just what would happen. In fact, this movie is so grounded in reality that I feel if you stripped away the DC elements, if you didn't call this movie Joker, just called it like Arthur or something, make it take place in Chicago instead of Gotham City, aside from those things, the movie would be no different at all. It's just a movie about a man who goes nuts. But the fact is that if this movie weren't called Joker, if this were just a realistic movie taking place in the real world, I probably wouldn't care to go see it. I feel like this movie could have been like in production as a movie that takes place in the real world, and then like towards the end of shooting, they were like, we gotta make this more marketable somehow. Alright, let's just make it a DC movie about the Joker. That'll get butts in seats. But hey, you know what? It worked on me. There are some laughs in this movie, some humorous parts. They're dark though. Like there'd be a part where someone gets shot, but like the comedic timing of the scene and context, we the audience, we laughed. And then after laughing myself, I felt bad. I was like, I'm laughing at something the Joker did. Am I going crazy too? So good job to this movie for putting those thoughts in my head. And the score. Guys, the score, the music in this movie is absolutely fantastic. It was composed by Hildur... I'm not even gonna try. She ain't from around here. The music is really heavy on the cello, and it absolutely reflects Arthur's state of mind in whatever scene he's in. And it's not just, oh, cello and that's it. It's not like do 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 do. It's not just like a normal cello sound. It's a really specific sounding cello. It's like, it's a zizzy kind of sound. I feel like it's an electric cello, which makes it even fucking better. And the music reflects how you should be feeling. Like, honestly, this is a fantastic score. I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna see this movie again. Guys, I'm telling you, Joker is one of the best movies of the year. Everything you've heard about it is true. Joaquin Phoenix has to get an Oscar nomination for this. If he doesn't, that's it for me. I'm done. I am shutting off my YouTube channel. This movie dives into the psyche of what a character like the Joker is like. What drives him to the point of insanity. It's a comic book movie that is grounded in reality, but it keeps you on your toes. Honestly, you're on the edge of your seat throughout the entire movie. The supporting characters were great, and the score is awesome. For Joker, I will absolutely say, go see this movie right now. And I'm serious about that. Everyone who is of age should go see this movie. You have to watch this movie. Just go see it. Have I said it enough? Go see it. So Joker, have you seen it yet? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.